Welcome to the Visualize Meditations podcast, hosted by your friend Sasha Patil, a Chopra certified meditation teacher. The first step to creating the life of your dreams is to create a clear and compelling vision for what you want for the future. I'll be guiding you on visualization meditation so you can get clear on your deepest desires. Let's get started so you can turn your vision into a reality.
Hi, cheers. Last without the cruise. It's wild. It's like sober Sex in the City. Sex in the City? How? Sober Sex in the City.
Oh, sober Sex in the City.
Sober Sex in the City.
Okay, so you're California sober.
Yeah.
Okay. I did that last year.
Did you?
Yeah. I did the whole year with no alcohol.
For how long?
A year.
A year?
Yeah, no alcohol for a year.
And then, was it like, I'm going to do this for a year? Or were you like, I'm going to try it?
No, I'm like, I'm going to do it for a year.
And then you were like, this was good.
Yeah.
Good cleanse.
Hmm?
Going to go back to drinking.
Yeah, then I went back to drinking.
Yeah, I was going to do it for like, whenever I try to do something, I'm like, I'm going to do it for 21 days. Because I think it's the habit is 21 days, right?
I keep hearing a different number from everybody. Everyone's like 21 days or 30 days or whatever. Like,
I feel like some people say it's 27 days. So I was like,
I feel like everyone says a different number, like actually.
So maybe I made it a month. I can't remember. I was like, I'm going to do it for a month. I did the same thing with veganism. I was like, I'm going to do it for a month. But then it was stuck both times. Except the alcohol didn't. I relapsed.
Until
I moved here.
How long have you... Oh, until you moved here. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's been like 9 months.
It has been 9 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yesterday was 9 months. I know.
Oh my god. Okay, so hi. Welcome to the pod.
Yay.
Hello, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Visualize Meditations podcast. It's your gal pal, Sasha. I paint the scene for you right now. I'm here with the other Glanville sibling. I'm in LA. I've been here for like a week. And I went to Coachella, I'm back, and I'm here. I like totally forgot that you lived here because I was podcasting with Josh. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm in LA. He's like, have you messaged Bella? Like, she lives there. And in my mind, you're so associated with London that I forget.
Always been in London.
Yeah, so I keep forgetting that you're here. So I was like, holy shit. So I reached out. And it's funny because, like, you and I were close first. But I guess that's my first question. Okay. How do we know each other?
We know each other from GYLS, which I'm sure you've spoken about previously.
I talked about it all the time. I just call it, like, Tony Robbins summer camp.
The Tony Robbins summer camp, so probably don't even need to do a rundown of what it is.
No, so many people who are on this podcast are from Tony Robbins summer camp. Bella and I were in the same room the first year.
Yeah, and you had blue hair.
I did have blue hair.
I was telling my mom about that today. I was like, she was like, wait, you're also friends with Sasha? I was like, I was friends with her first. And she had blue hair. And she was like, that's cool.
No, we were friends first.
You had blue hair and I had braces and bangs.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because I was 13. I was so young when I met you.
I know, I was 13. No, I must have been just freshly 14.
I think because you're really, you're older?
Yeah, I'm 26.
Oh, I'm 26. So maybe,
I think it's a weird cutoff because you're born in December. I'm about to turn 27 in like 9 days.
Okay. I'm 27 in like 9 months.
Yeah.
So like,
it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, we know each other from 20 Robbins summer camp, and we were actually friends first. Before I was friends with Josh.
Or Josh poached another one of my friends.
I know, it's crazy because we'll chat and he'll be like, how much do you know? And I'm like, everything.
Yeah. Like,
I know everything.
I don't even need to fill you in on anything about Josh's life.
No, I just need to be filled in on your life because I just get the highlights of your life. Like, I just get like
Josh's opinion on my life.
No, I didn't even know you had a boyfriend until I showed up here.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah.
I thought I was being so annoying about it on Instagram.
Honestly, I don't look at anyone's shit. I post my stuff and I dip.
I do the same stuff.
I don't scroll.
I feel like I never look at anyone else's posts on Instagram. I just look at my own.
I just look at my own too because it's like, it's kind of work. Like,
Yeah.
you're literally going through and reviewing your own work and being like, is this entertaining? Am I entertained by myself? Yeah, I am.
That's so funny. Because Sasha just walks into my apartment. She's like, so who do you live with? I was like, my boyfriend. She was like, what?
Yeah, no, I just didn't know.
Well, I was in a very different place when you last saw me. If we're right about the time you last saw me. Because when I think you last saw me was when we were in New York and I was very single and I had just graduated university. And I was on my big, like, woohoo, just graduated trip.
You were about to move to LA No, I was also about to move to Miami.
Yes.
So this must have been the summer of
2022.
2022, because I moved in August. Whatever. It was a couple years ago, but I feel like we have the friendship and the relationship where we kind of see each other once every couple of years, and that's just very normal.
But it's cool because we've seen each other in San Diego, London, New York, LA. That's the cool thing when you meet someone at a Tony Robbins event.
Is there someone somewhere else that we've met, or no? I think it's just the place.
Did I ever see you in Miami?
No, I saw Josh in Miami.
You saw Josh in Miami.
Yeah, Josh came to visit for Ultra.
Oh, yeah. He did. God, Josh is always traveling.
Josh is always traveling. I'm going to harass him all summer. I'm going to harass him all summer and be like, do you want to go here? And he's going to be like, yeah.
I lose track of how much he travels.
I know, me too.
Do you know his favorite thing that he says to me is, have you heard the news? And I'm like, what now? Like, I know he does that to you. And I'm like, what? I'm like, obviously not heard the news. Like, what's the new news? Like last year, he goes, have you heard the news? I'm like, what news? He goes, I'm moving to Wales. I'm like, no, you're not. As if he expected that my mum was going to be like, so Bella, let me sit you down and tell you something. Josh is moving to Wales. Like, even though she knows full well it's not going to happen. Like, and now he always does it. Have you heard? Heard what? Moving to Timbuktu.
Pretty much. Okay. What's your story?
But I'm really talking about like Josh. And now it's like, what's my story? Which I have a big story. Which part should I talk about?
I don't know. Let's whatever part you'd like to.
I was born in 1953 in the trenches. It was a terrible time for all of us. Well, it's interesting because obviously Josh and I are really close. We have very different lives and we're very different people in a lot of ways. Like, so yeah, same background, like was raised with the opera singer parents in the Loud household, and I was the middle child, so middle child syndrome.
Do you feel like you actually live up to middle child syndrome?
I feel like I'm the definition of middle child syndrome. Like, I'm a performer and I'm going to move to LA and I'm going to be an actress and a star just to get attention.
It's funny because all three of you kind of fit the stereotypes of like,
it's so true.
Middle, youngest.
Well, it's interesting psychologically because I always said growing up, I just did whatever Josh didn't do. I was like, Josh just shows me everything to not do as the middle child. And like the Tony Robbins question of like, so whose parents' love do you crave more? And I'd be like, probably my mum's. And then who do you have to be in order to get that love? And I said, not Josh. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, yeah.
I always used to say that.
Because Josh done fucked up a lot in his teenage years.
Josh messed up a lot. He's great now.
Not this podcast just being us
about
Josh. It's fine.
But it's funny because it's reversed now. My mum is now proud of Josh and tells me she loves Josh more, and because I'm now in LA and she hates that I'm in LA, which is
you're really far.
Fair enough.
That's really far.
It's hard. It's really hard being this far. Like it's something I've never had to, deal with emotionally before. And
is this your first time living like far away from home, like by yourself?
Well, I lived in Australia for a few months, but the difference is I knew I was coming back.
Yeah.
And I knew, like when the end date was, when the deadline was. But this is very much me being here, and I'm like, this is where my life is right now. And I always say I don't know where I'm going to end up.
Yeah.
And the current climate will end up in America right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, but right now, this is obviously where I am, and I've got an apartment and a job here and a life here, and I'm like, and a very serious relationship here, and so who knows what's going to happen. But I feel like my mum wants to be here too. She just can't fly with the dogs.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting visas for the dogs is sometimes harder than like the visas for the humans.
Yeah. To go to the embassy.
Seriously.
They have to do like a dog meeting.
Be like, is your dog friendly?
Yeah.
Can I pet your dog?
Yeah. Does your dog have a criminal record? Oh, I see a DUI here. I've been so scared of driving here since all this stuff's been going on.
I mean, I would just be scared in general because you're used to driving on the other side of the road.
And everyone says that to me. Actually, everyone says that to me. I'm actually more used to driving here because, like, in London, no one drives.
Oh, true.
So I got my license when I was like 19, in London and barely used it. Like, I shared a car with Josh, mentioning everything comes back to Josh.
Everything comes back to Josh.
We just clearly are obsessed with it.
Your mama had the most epic car of all time.
The pink one.
She had a little, Bella's mom
It was
had
amazing.
a small pink convertible.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Whenever we would drive it, people would smile and wave at us. It was a real Barbie car.
It was a Barbie
Genuine
car.
Barbie car.
It was amazing.
I want a car like that.
Yes.
But I have a silver one, and I've named her Chanel, Chevy Chanel. And I was like, I can't make her pink on the outside because you don't want to draw too much attention to your car in LA because it's LA. You know, I've Grand Theft Auto, and I've made the inside pink instead. I'll show you.
Okay,
later.
we might have to go for a drive.
I'm gonna show you.
Let's go for a drive.
Well, we will later when we go.
True.
When we go to Max's.
True.
Yeah, but you'll see the inside because it's all pink.
Oh my god, I need to see it. I'm very excited.
I've been like, I'm like day one of making my car like a Barbie car. Day two, blah blah blah. And it's really exciting now because I bought my first car. I've never had my own car before.
Congrats. That's like a huge.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
It really is
It
exciting.
made my mum really sad because she was like, "Well, if you've bought a car, then that's it, isn't it? That's like the final nail in the coffin." And I was like, "Well,
What?
actually, it just makes more financial sense because I was spending like $400 a month renting a car." So this is really bad to say on a podcast, but I'm going to tell you anyway because the chances of the guy seeing it.
We could always give him a name.
So, Brandon.
Okay.
There's this website, Turo.
I know
and
Turo.
It's great.
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I rented a car from this guy. And so, funny story, when I first learned to drive in LA,
Yeah.
I learned through making mistakes. So I learned through near-death experiences. I learned from fucking up a bunch of times. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Don't do that then. Maybe shouldn't do that again.
I'm concerned about one.
It happened. True story. And I also didn't take highways or freeways for the first 2 months because I was scared. And I didn't drive at night. So I was racking up like an Uber bill and because I wouldn't drive at night. And I even had a job one day, which was in Anaheim with Brent Rivera. And I drove side streets from LA to Anaheim. And it took 2 hours because I was too scared to take the highway, which is ridiculous.
Bella.
Anyway, I messed up this guy's car because I pulled up to set one day and they were like, it was this tiny garage and they were like, you can have that spot there. So I was like, oh God, I got like barely any experience pulling into garage spaces. So I like pull into this spot, but I turned too soon and I dented both doors on the car and huge scratch across the car. In fact, my mom doesn't even know this. Josh knows. I told Josh.
Okay.
And he went, of course you did. And my boyfriend said, just take it to TJ, which is where he's from, Tijuana in Mexico. So we drove the car to Mexico. And I spent $200 on fixing the dent. So this dent that goes across 2 doors and all the scratches, I fixed it for $200 because I did it in Mexico. Funny story though, I found out last week from a lawyer, you're not actually supposed to take Turo cars to Mexico. So I'm really lucky that they didn't find out. And also, the guy I rented it from had no idea. I gave that car back to him in better quality. I upgraded his car. This is why I needed to buy my own.
Okay. So
trust it.
what's your story question? I love it. Trying to rent a car down to
Speaking
Mexico.
of tangents,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
So, my story, middle child syndrome. I always say my life is really random because I've done a lot of things. Like,
You have done a lot of things.
obviously went into Tony Robbins because I went to this terrible school, which has like the highest suicide rate in the UK. It's like, I mean, Josh lasted 3 months there. I lasted 2 years, but barely. And it was one of those situations where I like hated myself, like really despised myself, like didn't want to look in the mirror 'cause everyone told me all of these things. Like,
Yeah, people were mean to you.
people are mean
Yeah.
at that age, and like especially at this school. Like, and I mean, you've seen the difference between like who I was when I first came to CAM
Yeah.
and who I am now.
Yeah.
It's very different because I think I was also really just not confident in myself at all back then, and I held myself differently.
Yeah. You
And-
went through a lot at that age too.
Like a lot. Yeah.
I got bullied a lot.
There was the bullying, and then there was like our parents were getting divorced, and then Josh was also a bit of a rascal, but we should have like a band. We should take a shot every time we say his name, because
Yeah, I know. We just talk about Josh all
this
the time.
is about me.
Middle child syndrome.
Yeah, this is about me. So the bullying was bad. And then I think it was at Gills, I came up with my E-hat theory. So I was like, if you take the letter E from the end of the word hate and you put it at the beginning, it becomes E-hat. So when someone's handing you hate, they're handing you an E-hat with a label on it. And it's up to you whether to wear that hat or not. And the more you wear, the more it's going to weigh you down. And so I was like, okay, when I'm looking in the mirror, a mirror is just a piece of glass. What you see behind it is up to you. I'm not going to wear these E-hats. And the moment I decided to love myself and that self-love was a decision, that's when everything changed. And then I came home from Gills, from camp. I was like to my mom, I had an amazing time. I'm never going back to that school. I'm never going back to that school again. She was like, okay, all right, we're going to have to do something about that because school starts in 2 weeks. And so I basically ended up getting to this really good school, and I said, I'm going to try something, almost like acting. Like, I'm going to walk into the school and I'm going to be like, everyone here loves me already, and I'm the most popular person here, and blah, 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 and I'm beautiful and amazing. And I walked in, and I just never stopped being that person.
Yeah.
Like, it was like an act, like a fake it till you make it thing. And then I was like, this is who I am now. I'm really confident, and I want to stay like this. And then I started my foundation, Love Kids, where I would run workshops for kids on this stuff. And the day I gave my first workshop on self-love was the day that I got scouted to be a model. And it's like just crazy how life works.
Yeah.
So I started modeling alongside school. And then obviously it was a dream to give a TED Talk. And that was really cool because that was a big manifestation thing. Because I basically put up my hand in class one day because my teacher was like, are there any achievements anyone wants to share? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be giving a TED Talk. And then he was like, wow, when? And I was like, I don't know, I'm just going to be giving one. And then obviously months later I was nominated to give one, and like that's how that all started.
Yeah.
So then that was amazing. So motivational speaking became like a big thing. And then I did my degree in psychology, but I realized very soon into my degree I did not want to be a psychologist. And I was like, well, I'm sort of in debt now, so I'm going to have to like finish the degree. And I kind of dipped my foot in the acting pool when I was on my gap year before university, and I was like, ooh, this world's a bit strange, I don't really want to do this. And then because I was doing musical theatre, I loved musical theatre,
Yeah.
and so I was like, I feel like there's just this part of me that has to be a performer. Like, it's going to sound how it sounds, but people kind of get it, where when you're a performer, like, it's in your soul. You can't not do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know it's going to be so financially difficult, but this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so it was in 2020 that year. A lot happened that year. And I basically was like, I want to try and get an acting agent. So I started applying to do loads of like short films and student films, and I wrote my own films so I could build like a reel to send to agents.
Yeah.
And then I did 2 dating shows that year.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, so then I kind of developed a TV presence. And one of them was this one, Celebs Go Dating, which I ended up winning, which was really funny because the guy pretended he was in love with me and then like completely ghosted me after the show. And then the second show I did was Sexy Beasts.
I remember that one.
Classic, where I was a dinosaur and I was dating a wolf. And so with Sexy Beasts, I was able to then write to agents and say, hey, I'm on Netflix, like, I'm looking for rap. And then obviously that made them interested.
Yeah.
And then I signed with my amazing agent, Mary Liz. And she started getting me auditions. And then I basically had this agreement with my mom. I was like, I think I'm going to try and pursue acting for like a year post university. And I'm just going to see how it goes. And if nothing happens, I will get a normal person job. I will get a muggle job. And it really motivated me to like really push for it. And then 3 weeks after I graduated, that was when I booked the biggest role I've done, which was A Whole Lifetime on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then a month after that, I booked Ted Lasso. And then all this stuff started happening.
Yeah.
And I was like, So this is what I'm meant to be doing. And then basically also in 2020 wrote this TV show with BB, who's my best friend in London. And
I know the BB. We love her.
yes, turning to camera because Sasha has met BB and had fun with BB in
Oh,
New
we've
York.
had fun.
We had a lot of fun in New York.
We had fun in New York, but I remember meeting her before. I met her in London. Oh, at your gig.
You did meet her in London because when you were staying with me.
When I was staying with you, but
And we
also-
went out.
No, we went out with your cousin. We didn't go out with BB.
Oh, did she not come out?
That night was insane.
I remember there being a night that Danny came over and we didn't actually end up going out.
No, because it was me, got sick.
Oh, I was going to say it was me.
Was it?
I know that
No, that was the next night.
There was a night that we preed too hard.
That was me, the first night.
I didn't go out.
No, we went out and we made it to the front of the line. Okay, so basically this is what happened. I was staying with Bella and Josh, and then 2 of my friends from study abroad also came. Your cousin came. Danny came, another friend from Tony Robbins summer camp. And we pre-gamed so hard. We were having the best time. So we go to heaven.
Yes.
At one point, like, I had to leave the line. Pete
I
on the
remember
sidewalk.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get to the front. We went. We
And
went.
I was in bed at that
No,
point.
it was the next night. The next night we went to the other club. And they wouldn't let Josh in for some reason.
Oh, well, Josh is always getting into fights with bouncers.
Josh gets in the fight with everybody.
And free bouncer.
Okay.
He's got a bit better about it, but kind of.
Just like everybody. He gets into fights with everybody. Regardless. And we waited in line at heaven for like an hour, and I got to the front and I like bumped into the security guard because I was like drinking too much. And they kicked us out, and we went to McDonald's. I got sick outside of McDonald's, and we had McDonald's and went home. And like we didn't go to heaven at all. But then the next night we all went to the club and you like got sick and went home. And I decided to like play mom that night. I took Devin, her drunk ass to, not Devin. I took one of my study abroad friends to the casino with this random guy she met. And then
I just remembered another thing we did. Because I remember Devin being kicked out because they thought that she was drunk because she sat down inside the bathroom.
Yes.
Because we went to Cuckoo.
Yes.
Which is now shut down. And I'm really sad because they had 2 a.m. pasta.
Oh my God. Late night food is my favorite thing in the whole world. I need late night food.
So good.
I cannot live in a city with
no late night food.
If McDonald's is my only option of late night food, I don't want to live in that city.
No. London's very good for late night food.
London's really good. New York has really great late night food.
New York is good. LA is not good.
LA's not good?
No. LA's not good for late night food. That's why I stopped it. I always only want one thing late night. I want chips and hummus.
Really?
Well, fries and hummus, as you would call it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've never done that combo.
Not like crisps, chips. Like English
yes,
chips.
I understand.
You know,
I understand.
fat chips and hummus. So good.
Really?
Like banging.
I always want like...
Best combo.
Well, I just want everything. Mac and cheese is like a go-to. I always love mac and cheese. I know you're vegan, but whatever.
There's places in London that do late night mac and cheese. Vegan. And I had it at 5 a.m. This was like during university. And I was with this girl and she was like, you can get it for free. And I was like, how? And she goes, you just have to like take your hair and put it on it and then I'll give it to you for free. And they don't even charge the restaurant. It just charges Uber Eats. And it's like a massive company, so you don't have to feel bad.
That's so rude.
Then I was like, I'm not mad at Uber right now, but I'm mad at Lyft. Like the corporation.
Yeah.
If I'm legally allowed to talk about it, actually.
But don't talk about it.
Podcast.
Okay.
We'll cut that bit out.
I feel talk about that. What are 3 words you'd use to describe yourself?
Big fat whore.
No. Fucks. 3 words I use to describe myself.
Dirty little shag. I have a go-to for this usually. Musical.
Yeah.
Creative. And confident. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
I like them.
I feel like those are pretty accurate
Yeah.
for me.
I'd say so.
I've been doing musical improv in LA. It's like a huge thing here, the improv scene. I do musical improv. Like, And I'm really annoying about it. When Caesar's my boyfriend, when Caesar and I take really big road trips, I'll be like, let's play a musical improv game. And then I'll like put on a beat and I'm like, give me a topic. He'll do it. And I just like make him sit there and watch me rap.
Oh my God, I love that.
It's so fun.
I rap a
Really
little
fun.
bit, but like I go slower. I like go back and forth.
I should teach you a musical improv game.
Oh boy. Okay. Not right now, but yeah.
Yeah, I will. They're really fun. Like, I mean, it's funny though, because there's these like TikToks making fun of improvisers.
Yeah.
And they're so accurate. Like, we are that annoying.
Yeah.
We want everyone to watch us.
And really are
And like,
performer home.
laugh.
Yeah.
Middle child syndrome.
Middle child
Middle
syndrome. It
child
all
syndrome.
comes back to that.
It all
It's our
comes back to
inability to
that.
stop talking about
Well, that was it for really like a real like kind of vague thing of like the life story. So then I ended up becoming an actor, and then obviously, I wrote my show with BB.
Yeah.
That's how we tangented.
Right.
Then we were like, let's move to LA, let's try, because every time we came here, magic happened. So we were like, imagine if we lived there, what would happen? So that was why we decided to move here. We were going to try and sell our show and everything. And I went to India last winter to make a documentary about this Ayurvedic retreat. This is like a whole other story. But when I was there, I met this guy who's been working with the United Nations, and he's trying to show that turmeric can be used to prevent cancer and heart disease and all this stuff, and it's amazing. And he was looking for someone who had like a platform, like a creative platform, or like an actor or something, like an Emma Watson type. I'm really speaking highly of myself, to work with the United Nations to help them promote this. And so that's how I ended up like looped in with the United Nations. And so that's when that work started happening, which was amazing because that was a life dream.
Yeah.
To work with the United Nations. Like, that was always something that I really wanted to do. So that was really exciting. So that was another thing that happened. And then
There's a lot of shit that happens. It's funny because this is something I've talked about with your brother. I'm not even going to say his name. It's like whenever you want to do something, you're like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then Bella does it. Like, every time.
basically, yeah,
You just like decide, like, I'm going to do this now. And then you just go do that thing.
being a doer. I've always been like that. I don't know if it's to do with like having an ADHD brain or if it's like just Tony Robbins or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
I really am a strong believer in the if not now, when. And it's like, because I always tell myself, if you don't do it right now, this second, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Because that used to be true. So I would do it that second. Like with my magazine that I started, Motivate, I was in a hot tub and I was like reading, I think it was Oprah magazine or Success magazine or something. And I was like, I could have a magazine like this. And then I just like got out of the hot tub. I was in my bikini. I started messaging people. I was like, hey, I want to start a magazine. Are you in? Like, do you want me to interview you? And that's like how that started. Like, you just have to
do the thing.
It. Like
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf says.
Just
do it. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the best piece and the worst piece of advice you feel like you've ever gotten?
Oh, that's such a good question. Best piece of advice. I feel like I've had so many good pieces of advice that I've used because of like all the Tony Robbins events.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that come to mind are obviously, if not now, when, if not you, then who? Because obviously I'm a big believer in like doing it straight away, like just doing
do the
whatever
thing.
you want to do.
Yeah.
You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. That I really like applied to dating and relationships.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole other podcast we can do to get to where I am now. Along the dating scope as well is that if he makes you cry, he's not a man, he's an onion. And boys are supposed to smudge lipstick, not mascara. And these are all things I applied as well.
Wait, boys are supposed to smudge lipstick and not mascara.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was a really good quote. I was like, so then I was like, if anyone ever makes me cry, they're gone. So yeah, with dating, those were like really good pieces of advice I followed. And also everything, the whole like life happens for you, not to you thing.
Yeah.
I have my own version of that where I'm like, everything happens for a reason because you can find the reason it's happened. Because I've had this conversation like with people that have had terrible things happen to them, and they're like, well, you can't say that because why would this have happened on purpose? And I say, no, it's not like the universe has made this happen to you because you're supposed to learn a lesson. You decide what you're going to take from that, and you decide how you're going to grow from that. It's the victim versus warrior mentality.
Yeah.
Like, I've been through a really similar experience to someone I'm not going to name in my life. She is a complete victim. She has Munchausen's by proxy now.
Yeah.
And she's a victim in every area of her life.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm not. And I've decided to like take my experiences, and you grow through what you go through, that whole thing. So that's been another big thing.
You grow through what you go through. Yeah.
And that's a quote that I use every day. Like, Caesar actually makes fun of it because I use it so much. But it's true.
I was literally writing down my lessons. Tomorrow I hit 4 months of being in transit officially. And I was writing down the lessons. I was like, okay, what did I like learn this past month? And like that was one of the things, but like I couldn't quite find the phrasing for it. It was just like you have to go through it to go through it, but like you grow through what you go through.
You grow through what you go through. It's
I'm gonna
so
change
true.
the little header for that.
Yeah, isn't that such a good quote? It's
Yeah.
so simple, but so good. That might even be the best life advice that I've had, because it's really similar to like everything's going to be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end. And I always believe that too, because I think when you think everything's just like, oh shit, everything's so fucked right now and I don't know what to do, it's like, well, you know it's going to get better. And I used to do this when I was like studying for really difficult exams. I'd be like, oh, I feel like I'm in this hole right now that I can't dig out of. And then I'm like, well, no, because the exams are going to finish one day, and there's a version of me that exists where everything's been fixed. And I think it's just like always telling yourself that there's a version of yourself where everything is okay and everything has been fixed. And as long as you like hold on to that, you have that to look forward to, and you have that to like aspire to and grow towards.
Yeah.
And that's like a huge thing. And the worst advice I've been given, that is a really interesting question because I haven't been asked that before. Worst advice I've been given. This is the first thing that springs to mind. This is definitely not the worst advice I've been given.
Okay.
But it's just bad advice.
Okay.
When I first got together with my boyfriend, I have a mix of friends. Like, I have a lot of single friends, and then I have a lot of like friends in relationships, probably more in relationships now, but I had a couple single friends, you know, like I feel like when you get into a really serious relationship and you're one of the single gals, and then your single friends are still single, they're going to be there telling you to like question things and like, are you sure this is what you want right now? And I think it's probably worse for guys that I've spoken to about this, but I think when people start to date and it's someone who's really worth dating, there's always going to be people around you that tell you like, hey, you sure you're ready for this? Hey, like, but it always comes from something to do with them than caring about you.
Yeah.
So I think like it's better to get advice about relationships from people who are in them. And I'm not saying all single people are wrong, because I think as a single person, I gave really good relationship advice.
Yeah.
I think it's important to pay attention to when your single friends are being biased when they're trying to give you advice. It's not the worst advice I've ever been given. It was just the first thing that comes to mind because it was something that I found really interesting.
Yeah.
I was just like, not everyone is right. And also, your parents aren't always right. This is about everything now. This is another thing I've realized growing up, is realizing that your parents also make mistakes. Your parents aren't always right, and they don't always tell you the right thing. But yeah, I feel like I don't necessarily pay attention to bad advice because we've been through so much Tony Robbins that I'm like, I'm just going to pay attention to to good advice.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because I was talking to one of our mutual friends recently about the way that Tony teaches stuff. And he didn't love the way that he teaches relationship polarity, because he said you can have relationships where there is a masculine and a feminine and a feminine, and they can work.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting. So I was like, you know what? You're right. And that's not taught. And he does tend to try and get a guy to be more in his masculine if the girl is the masculine one. But actually sometimes that can work where a girl is a masculine one, a guy is a feminine one, and it's a great relationship. So that's also another thing. It's mostly to do with relationships, I'm thinking. But yeah.
Okay.
I also once had someone tell me, don't do a degree. I don't know if that's bad advice or not. I'm in debt.
So it's possible. But like,
Yeah.
it's different for everybody. Like that advice might work for somebody versus not. So I feel like it depends on the person.
Yeah.
Like some people like need the structure of like formal education.
Yeah. It depends what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
Like,
As long as you're educating yourself, but it's like, do you want to do it in a formal way or do you want to do it like an informal way? You know what I mean?
I feel like no one ever regrets where they went to college. That's like a quote I keep hearing. I really don't regret it. Like, do I use my degree? Not really. But I don't regret it.
I mean, I loved school. I went to Parsons and I loved it. And I feel like I used my degree quite a lot, actually. Yeah.
I talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, the psychology behind that is blah, blah, blah. Like, please let me tell you, because I spent 60 grand in telling you this. It's about, about experiences and friendships. And sometimes my mum says to me, like, if you could go back in time, would you not have, like, spent the money to live with your friends? Would you have lived at home? And I was like, no. Like, yeah, I'd have 20 grand in the bank, but no.
Yeah.
Like, they were worth it.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, like the experience was worth it.
Yeah, and I think if you think of it as, like, the money wasn't supposed to be for that. Like, it wasn't supposed to be for my bank account. It was supposed to be for university. That's, like, a better mindset to have.
Yeah.
Too late now, anyway.
Too late now anyway.
No regrets. Only lessons.
For real. For real.
But, like, what's the worst advice you ever got?
Oh my God. I hate when someone tells me to be realistic. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And there are people like that. And like I have people in my family who are like, what do you mean? You should just be realistic. And I'm like, why are you thinking small? Like, and why are you telling me to think small? Like, if you want to think small for you, like that's your vibe. That's your thing. That's like not me. I'm very much so like a big thinker. And I like to be around people and in environments that enable me to think big, because I know anything that you think and dream and want to do is like possible. It's like only as big as your mind can go.
I just think it's better to, like, go for things that seem out of reach.
Yes. Yeah.
And then if you shortfall of that goal, that's so much better than just, like, settling for a goal that's reachable.
Yeah.
Like, seems reachable.
Or not doing anything in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I feel like I see so many people who are like, that's the thing that gets me, is when people say like, oh, I want to do this thing. I want to start this business, or I want to do this hobby or whatever. And then they don't do it. And it's like, well, like, okay, I don't know. Like, just do it. Like, what's, I don't know. Like, yeah.
I've had so many people do that. They're like, I've this idea, like, I want to do this thing, and then they don't do it. I remember when I wrote my first feature film, and I sent it to Ray Gideon, who wrote Stand By Me.
Yeah.
And I've finished it. I finished my feature film. And he was like, congratulations on finishing it, because I've spoken to so many people that say they want to write a film or they have an idea and they don't write it.
Yeah.
And
or they write it and they never finish.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like when I wrote my film about Josh, it's interesting because when I write a film about something, it could take me a week to write. But when it was about Josh, it took me months of everyday writing, because it's a true story, and I was like, I have to get it accurate, it has to be exactly what happened and stuff. And that took so long. But I was like, if I don't write even like 2 sentences today, I'm going to forget about this film. And it's so important to, that's what they say about script writers. And I think this can apply to so many goals and jobs.
Yeah.
Like, metaphorically, do your 2 lines a day.
Yeah.
Okay, let's rephrase it, because that sounds like coke. Okay, metaphorically, front your page a day. What's your page a day?
Yeah, like, are you doing something every day that contributes towards your goals? Or contributes towards...
Yeah. I think it's really interesting because it's really hard as a freelancer or someone in the film industry to feel like you're doing enough. I never take days off. I'm really bad at that. And I like put my hand up and say I'm really bad at that, because I constantly feel like well, if I have a break today, or even though I feel like shit and I'm definitely ill, if I have a break today, what if today is the day that I miss out on a really good audition? What if today is the day that I lose an opportunity and I could have done something for myself and my career because I'm having a break? But then obviously you're not strong enough to do those opportunities when they come because you've not given yourself a break.
Yeah.
So it's about finding that balance between like constant and never-ending growth, like constantly going and constantly moving, but still taking care of yourself physically, that I find challenging.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm like, okay, at least I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
Because it's important to like just always be doing stuff, but don't overdo it. But also don't feel like you always have to be working 24/7. I'm never going to be one of those 5 a.m.ers. That's just not me.
It's just not you, yeah.
I'm not going to be someone that gets up at 5 and goes to the gym.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. It's hard. It's hard, like, finding that balance with days off. Like, I took the afternoon off yesterday, and that was hard. It's like, there's more I could be doing. There's more I could be working on. Whatever. And then I have to be like, no, it's Friday night. Take a break.
I have a good solution for it, though.
Okay, what is it?
I think it's a good solution. It's something I've been using for like 9 years.
Okay.
So when I was a teenager, I was having CBT for anxiety. And that was one of the things I worked on at Date with Destiny, which obviously you're doing in December.
Yeah.
And they do this process where you change around your values and what are you working towards and what are you moving away from. And you write rules like, I'll only feel this if blah, blah, blah. But then there's another thing he does called your primary question.
Yeah.
And you've probably heard about it. Your primary question, like the thing that you constantly subconsciously ask yourself with everything that you do every single day. And my primary question used to be, how can I make my mum proud? And from the outside, it sounds like, oh, that's a sweet primary question. But no, because it means you're putting yourself on a pedestal. You constantly feel like you're not good enough for your parent. And that's what I did growing up. When I was in what you guys call 7th grade, I lied that I won Student of the Year. I printed off a fake certificate and showed it to my family that I won Student of the Year just because I wanted my mum to be proud of me.
Wow.
Like, middle child syndrome. So
it all comes back to middle child syndrome.
It all comes down to it. It all comes back to Josh and how he was born first. That linked with having anxiety and constantly worrying about the plan and where I'm going to be in life and what's going to happen tomorrow and what time I'm going to do things, and like especially being an actor, like shit, where is my life going? What am I doing?
Yeah.
It's so important to have a good primary question. And the thing that all these things have in common is we miss 90% of our lives because we're so focused on what could have happened or what should have happened yesterday and what could happen in the future, that we're never focused on what's happening right now. And the moment I tell anyone, they're like, whoa, you're so right. Like, I'm never living in the moment. I'm never focused on what is literally happening in this moment, right here, right now. I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about right now.
Yeah.
Like, so I changed my primary question to, how can I appreciate this moment right now? Or another variation, how can I appreciate this moment more?
Yeah.
And so whenever I started overthinking, am I doing enough? Or a conversation I've just had with someone, like, was I weird in that conversation? Or like, oh, how did that audition go? And panic about the audition, like, oh my God, what's going to happen tomorrow at this event or with this person or like with my life? I stop and I think, how can I appreciate this moment right now? And then I'm like, okay, I look around and I'm like, I'm in LA. I'm doing like my dream job. I'm sitting across from Sasha, who's one of my oldest friends, and I'm in this apartment, which I love, and I'm drinking a LaCroix, which is tasty. And like, it's just, and then you suddenly like more and more things start to like come to mind about what you can appreciate about the present and where you are.
Yeah.
And it's where focus goes, energy flows.
Yeah.
So then you don't think about anything else and like fuck my career or fuck this relationship or fuck this friend. Like you just focus on the now. And it's changed everything. Like since I made that my primary question, I rarely have problems with anxiety anymore. And that's my advice. That is my advice. And that is my solution.
I love it.
That is my solution to the...
Do you feel like, and actually this question is really interesting, I think, for you specifically, because you always are like, you decide you want to do something and then you go do that thing. Is there like a childhood dream that's still like there that you want to pursue at some point?
I really wanted to be a princess.
We still got time.
I wrote to Prince William when I was 5 years old with a pink felt tip pen, and I asked him to marry me. And he wrote back through his secretary. They always respond. His secretary wrote back, and it was sealed with gold, like the royal golden stamp. And she said, unfortunately, he's been getting a lot of marriage proposals, but he liked my drawings. There's a tangent for you. I always wanted to be a princess. I wanted to be a pop star. I wanted to be a vet. I wanted to be a clinical psychologist. And I dropped all of those dreams for different reasons.
Oh my God.
Clinical psychologist, I'm like, I do not want to take 10 years to qualify to do something I'm a bit meh about.
Yeah.
Being a vet, I did work experience and I had to help massage shit out of a cat. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. And also, they opened a pack of Oreos, Sasha. They didn't offer me one. And I was like, screw being a vet.
No. I don't immediately buy. They opened Oreos and didn't offer you one? I feel like I finished basically all your Oreos.
That's okay though, because I had some.
I'm glad like we did something else because you had to take this away. We decided to do the Oreos and peanut butter.
Oh my God. I've never had it before.
I mean, I feel like I have as a kid, but it's like, oh, I saw peanut butter. I was like, this is a Parent Trap situation. We have to do this.
I've had it in a milkshake.
Peanut butter and Oreos?
Yeah, with ice cream. Scoop of vanilla, Oreos, peanut butter. Bang it.
That sounds so good.
It's so good. If I have vanilla ice cream, I'd make it.
Oh, this is dangerous.
I know.
This is so dangerous.
I could actually binge on it. What was the other one? Pop star. I decided not to be a pop star because I watched this video of Ed Sheeran and he was talking about like how he did gigs all the time. And fun fact, I used to be in a band. I don't know if you knew that.
Bella. You know where I met BB?
Was it at my gig?
Yes.
Oh my God, because you came to my gig with Adam and Mary, right?
Yes.
Was that when you first met?
BB? Yeah.
Then the last time I saw you was New York. Piecing it together.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We've established that now.
Okay, so I haven't seen you since I've lived in Miami.
Yeah. Yeah. You've just seen Josh.
I've just seen
Unless you...
I did not come to... No, because we came to London right before we moved.
Yes. So I haven't seen you in like 2.5 years.
I came to London. It was my ex's last trip with JetBlue. My ex used to work for JetBlue. We used to fly everywhere. And then that was our last trip with JetBlue. So that was February.
I love that.
And we moved in August, but I saw you over the summer. So New York was the last time we saw each other.
Yes.
That night was
2.5 years.
That night was fun. I needed late night food that night too. I made everyone like come and get pizza with me, even though everyone was vegan.
Did we get vegan pizza? Or...
No, we just got pizza and you guys ripped the cheese off.
Oh, we did. We got pizza and ripped the cheese off.
And I ate the cheesiest slice of all time.
I think that's what we did.
Yeah.
Because I do remember getting the giant slices.
Oh, yeah, it was huge.
The giant
and
slices.
It was amazing.
And I weirdly remember what your apartment kind of looked like. Like, I remember we slept...
I slept in my room and I was...
Yeah. For an hour.
Yeah,
we got a flight.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah, because you guys had a flight.
We had an hour. We flew to New York. No, we were in New York. We flew to LA and we went to Max's, straight to Max's, who you're meeting today.
Yeah.
And I just fell asleep and then her and Max watched Seinfeld.
Cute.
And I was like, I don't know how you're not exhausted right now.
Is there something that you used to like desire that's now like a normal part of your life?
Like I bigged it up and now it's kind of like not as bigged up.
No, like something that you used to want so badly in your life that's just like now a normal everyday part of your life.
Like I got it, like something that I got that I wanted.
Yeah.
That's now normal. Yes. Yes. 2 things. I used to think getting on TV was holy shit. oh my God. As a kid, I was like, that is my dream, to be on TV one day. If I'm on TV, oh my God, I'm famous. Wow. That's gonna make a joke about your trauma. This whole thought it. What were you gonna say? Because your mom will be proud of me. And then my mom will be proud of me. I'm so sorry. And then she finally loved me. Then I'll be the golden child. Because Josh had a house party.
I'll never forget the house party. I wasn't even there and I'm still hearing about it.
I'll never forget the fucking house party. It's been 13 years and I still have people talk about it. Oh, you're Bella Glanville. Yeah, I was at that party.
That party was insane.
Do you know what they did? They broke down my bedroom door, they ripped up my Justin Bieber poster, and they stole my jewelry. And I remembered every charm on my Pandora bracelet, and I made Josh buy all of them for me. That was a whole thing. So yeah, being on TV, making my mum proud of me. It was just like this whole, you have this idea of it, and like working with celebrities.
Yeah.
And it's something as a kid, you're like, oh my God, I'd get so starstruck, I'd die, blah, blah, blah. And now that it's my job, it's like, oh, it's my job. And like last year, one of the coolest stories, actually, I don't know how much we have left on the podcast. I don't know if I have time to tell you it now. You tell me. I went with Tom Cruise last year.
Okay.
And it was one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me.
Okay.
And I really get starstruck by that kind of thing. And now it's like, oh, it's a normal part of my life. And I mean, even having a boyfriend, I used to think that that's like the coolest thing ever. And now I'm like, I have the combination. Like I have a boyfriend that's, you know, won an Emmy, which as a kid, I would have been like, no, that's never going to happen. No way. And like, even when I was single and like going on dates with guys I've seen in like Netflix shit. And I'm like, it's so normal now. Because it's interesting with acting. Like when you go, I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't sound like narcissistic. It's just like trying to answer the question. But when you're in this industry, like you do just realize it's a job. So imagine you're an accountant and the top accountant who makes like loads of money. They're like just really good at being an accountant. And their name is like Paul Rudd. Like it's the same thing. It's just like Paul Rudd is a guy that got really good at the job that I'm doing. And so because it's the nature of the job, people know who he is.
Yeah.
But that's the only difference between famous, like, if, you know, a really talented an accountant and a really talented actor is that people will know who the talented actor is.
Yeah.
And that's like the main thing. It's just like, yeah. So, you know, it's something I used to desire. And now it's something that's like,
It's not normal.
whatever. Like it's just my life. It's my job.
Yeah.
And it's awesome, you know?
Hell yeah.
Because people think that if you're an actor, you're famous, but actually that's not really the case. Like,
No.
if you're an actor, you can make a living and people might never know your name,
That's true.
especially with commercials, especially in America.
So I'm 26 now. You're 26 now. Which
Yeah.
is interesting because I think this is the first time I've done an interview with someone my own age. Because typically I ask, what advice would you give your 26-year-old self? So here's the question in twofold, two different questions in the same milkshake. Okay. What advice would you give me right now as a fellow 26-year-old? And also, if future you were to come back and to give yourself advice or wisdom right now, what would that be?
Okay. So 2 different questions.
I guess so, but like,
Yeah.
see, the thing about the 26 thing is that you are 26. So what advice would you give a 26-year-old person? You or me?
I'll tell you advice I do give people. Life is so short. There was this time I was in the library at university, and at Guy's campus in King's College,
Yeah.
there's a library where everyone goes to this library, and it basically looks like rows and rows and rows and rows of these grey booths, like
Yeah.
kind of office cubicles but smaller,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like this big. Yeah. And it's just desk with a plug and a chair. And then desk, plug, chair. And there's probably like 200 of these.
Yeah.
And there was one day I was like working in the library and I looked around and I took a picture and I sent the picture to my friend Emma, who was working next to, like, opposite me. And then I sent her this picture I'd also seen of the rat race. Like when, I don't know if you've seen the picture, but it's like a bunch of rats. It's like a cartoon, a bunch of rats in grey cubicles, like 200 cubicles typing.
Yeah.
I said, Emma, I'm really freaked out. Please tell me the difference between the picture I just sent you and this cartoon. And she was like, oh my God, that's so creepy. And I was like, I feel like I'm in the rat race. I don't like this. And it's that whole thing of the average man. The average man is born, he goes to school, he goes to an average university, he gets an average job, grad job, gets an average relationship, average marriage, he has kids, he dies. And I was like, I'm always telling people, just waste your life. Like, pay attention to what you're doing and where you're at and how you feel about it. And if you're not happy, life is so short. And the reason that I'm so passionate about this now is because I've had so much grief in the last like 2 years of my life. So much grief.
Yeah.
Like, and that changed who I was and that changed everything. Like my granddad was obviously like my fucking best friend.
Yeah.
Like he was my rock. He was my dad.
I loved him.
Yeah.
I loved him.
He was my parent. Like,
Yeah.
we had this really special relationship, and losing him is the hardest thing I've ever gone through.
Yeah.
And it's still really hard. Like, I'm still really struggling. And then a year later, I lost my stepmom. She was really young. She was so young. She was in her 40s. And I was like, I think it was her 40s, so she could have been about 50. But either way, she was so young. But I was just, it changed everything. It changed me being a people pleaser. It changed me being a pushover and letting people walk all over me. And it just changed my perspective on life. It's 100% why I'm in LA. Because so many people look back on their lives when they're 80 or 90 and they're like, oh my God, I've done nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything I wanted to do. And I always said I would much rather be on my deathbed, 10 grand in debt, with millions of memories, than on my deathbed with millions in the bank and no memories. And I won't name names, but there are people I know that I'm very close with, for reasons, who, family members, and stuff. It's actually definitely not just, not just family members. It's like other people too.
Yeah.
Who, they're doing the average man thing. They went to good enough university. They're working in jobs where they're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
But they have no time. They have limited holidays. You know, they're like, what is it? They can go on like 21 days of holiday a year.
Yeah.
That's all. That's it. That's their only break. And I'm sorry, but I've never met someone in my life who can tell me they are passionate about being an accountant. Like, I'm not trying to insult accountants right now, but is that really your dream, Sharon? Is it? So, Sharon. But it's so hard, Sharon. But like, is it? You know, Sharon's probably watching right now, going, "Well, it's easy for you to say, bitch. You're sitting in LA right now, like as an actor, like." And I've had this conversation with someone who said to me like the same thing. They were like, well, it's easy for you to say you've got rich parents and that's why you're able to do what you're doing. My parents don't give me a penny. They don't give me a penny. I've paid for all of this myself. People come up with excuses. They're like, I'm doing an office job. I'm doing this boring corporate job because I have to make money and I want a family and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, basically what I'm saying is, if that's your dream,
Do it.
do it. But if I could go back in time, if I was 40 right now, and I could go back in time and talk to 26-year-old me, or I could just talk to another 26-year-old, I'd say, are you doing what you really want to be doing?
Mhm.
Because you're going to turn around one day and you're going to look back on your life and you're going to have to decide whether you did with it what you want. Because you only do get one life. I don't know if you've seen About Time.
I love that
It's my
movie.
favorite movie.
It's my favorite movie too.
Is it actually?
It's actually my favorite movie.
Favorite movie.
Like top.
I've seen it so many times. Donald Gleason was at a coffee shop I went to the other day. And I was like,
I love that movie. I love that movie.
I show that movie to so many people because that movie's changed my life the most.
Yes.
And my alarm clock actually says, "Good morning, you chose today."
Yeah.
As if, because the idea that you have to live every single day as if you've deliberately chosen that day
Yes,
to go back to live it right.
Yeah.
That is such a good concept.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, of course, it's not like completely possible to do that every day because you forget. But if you have that in the back of your head, you are going to deliberately like make choices for your life. And sometimes you are going to have to make selfish choices. But I always say being selfish is being selfless towards yourself. You are also a person that you have to take care of.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm in LA, but a lot of people are happy about me being here because they miss me. And I miss them so much. And it's really hard.
Yeah.
But I had to make a decision for what I want to do and what my dreams are. And I don't want to have regrets. I don't think if I hadn't done Tony Robbins that I would ever think that way.
Yeah.
That's the advice I would give. Basically, just
Be present.
be present. What are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
Is this what you want to be doing? If it's not, stop doing it.
And do something different.
As simple as that.
For
Job,
real.
relationship, where you're living, everything. Like, and people settling and people fast tracking their lives and marrying whoever they're with in their 20s. I read a thing the other day and it was like, more people will marry whoever they're with in their 20s because they think that's what they're meant to do. Because they're like, shit, well, I'm in my 20s. Like, that's what people do. They get married to whoever they're with in their 20s. Is that who you actually want to marry?
I mean, you're asking the right, wrong person?
Preaching to the choir.
You're literally preaching to the choir. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I thought I was going to marry the person I was with in my 20s. Like, I really thought that was going to happen, and it didn't. And I realized I was staying in a situation that made me much smaller. And it's like, I was so happy in the day to day, but there were so many big things that we just didn't align on. And I tried my best to align to his values and like fit myself in a mold. But I just realized I was keeping myself really small and got out of that. But and like, am I happier now? In some ways, yes. And in some ways, no.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like traveling full time is tough, but it's at the same time like this is really fucking cool. It's cool that this is like a regular ass Saturday and I'm here with you.
Well, you're like a walking example of what I just said. You looked at your life and you were like, I don't want to be in New York right now. I want to be in Florida. And then you looked at your life and you were like, I want to travel. I'm going to have a job that permits me to do that.
Yeah.
And I know it's really hard to get a job these days, but it's not an excuse to not do it.
I mean, I've been in this job for 4 years. So the job didn't really change. Actually, the work has been consistent.
Yeah.
I've been in this job for 4 years and I've had my business for 3 years. So work has been like kind of the consistent thing. And at least right now while I'm traveling, like it is the most consistent thing in my life is how much I'm working. And it's something that I always try to be like very vocal about is because, you know, like I am burning the candle kind of at 5 different ends, like traveling full time and then working full time and then having a business and being present in the travels. Like it's a lot of time, but also like I have so much, not more time now that I'm not in a relationship, but like kind of, you know what I mean? So it's also like, that's the other thing is it on social media looks so good. Like I'm traveling, like all my friends and family, like, oh my God, where are you now? It's amazing. It's like, yes, it is amazing. Like it's incredible, but also like I'm crying a lot. Like I'm crying so much. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, take a look at your life, see what you want, see what you don't want. I also heard this other quote that like really stuck with me, which is like kind of along the same lines, which is if you were to go back to today, knowing that today was like one of the best days of your life, like what would that look like? But also going through your day then, like going through your day, like looking for the evidence that today is one of the best days of your life. Because you are like, because if you were going to come back today, basically the same thing of like, if you were to go back today, choose it. You know,
What did you do with it?
what would you do with that?
I think
For
if I
real.
took that really seriously, I'd probably just go to Disney every day or something.
What time is it?
Yeah, I'm good. I used to get, Caesar got free Disney tickets when he worked at ESPN. So we went so much.
I
Because
love
it's so
Disney.
expensive.
I love
You
Disney.
can never tell if I prefer Disney or Universal.
I love both, but no, I think Disney.
Disney has that magic about it that
Yeah.
Universal doesn't have, but then Universal's really bright and a good studio tour.
Yeah.
Have you done the studio tour here?
I did the one at Warner Brothers.
Oh, you did? That one's great too.
I'm a big Gilmore Girls fan.
Oh, so you would have loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
And-
sister loves
And I know
Girls.
you're you are a Friends gal.
I do like Friends.
Yeah.
That's always really cool at the set. Have you seen New Girl?
Yeah.
So the bar, like Nick's bar,
Yeah.
that's a real bar. And that's
No
here.
way.
It's called the Prince. I really want to go.
Let's go.
Yeah, we could. We could go. I don't think close to Max. I can check. Anyway,
Anyway,
tangent
thanks.
sake.
Thanks for coming.
Of course, I drove all the way here.
Let me just. Yeah. What do we want to do after this? I don't know. We're just chilling. We're like, what do you want to do? Let's just pull up the mics. I think we should go outside.
Depends what time it is now. We could go to the hot tub. We could go to the hot tub. You're single. You can spy on the gym.
No, I'm taking a break from guys, right?
Good.
Like an actual break. Because I got out of my relationship and got straight into my situationship and put like a situationship band-aid right on top of it. And it's like, now that oh my God, that ending was so dramatic at Coachella, but like rip that shit off. And I'm like, okay,
Ew.
I need a proper break from like,
None of that.
yeah. And it's like, who am I when I'm alone?
You know what comes after the one? The next one. That's all that.
I'm just living a single life, but also just like taking my time to be alone right now. And,
Yeah.
you know, like learning about who I am by myself, you know. Like yesterday, typically like Fridays are my like alone time day, and I really enjoyed my company. I ate so many cookies yesterday.
Oh, I love cookies.
Oh, have you tried? Oh no, they're not vegan.
Which
the
ones?
junior cookies.
Oh, you told me about this earlier.
So
Yeah.
I did that, and then I've like been eating leftovers.
I like Thin Mints.
Have you? If you like Thin Mints, you might like the mint Oreos. Have you tried the mint Oreos?
I tried mint Oreos. They're really good too.
I love the mint Oreos, the lemon Oreos, the golden
You
Oreos,
tried the peanut butter Oreos?
the peanut butter chocolate one. Have you tried those?
Yes. I think it's the same ones. They have peanut butter in the inside.
Yes, they're so good.
Yeah. And they're vegan.
I love that Oreos are vegan.
It's so random and good.
I know.
So much can be vegan. They just decide to not make it vegan.
You've been vegan for a long while.
Yeah. Yeah. I have. A few years.
Shit's crazy, bro.
I know. So been good for my skin.
Okay, we're gonna go and potentially get in the hot tub.
Yeah. Yeah.
This has been fun.
This has been fun. LaCroix.
LaCroix
Sponsor us.
No, it's crazy because it's like, yeah, sometimes it's the questions back and forth, and then sometimes it's like an actual. It's much more entertaining when it's an actual conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. I never know on podcasts because I've done a few podcasts and I'm like, sometimes it's a back and forth thing. And then I'm like, sometimes like, is it an interview vibe? Like, am I talking too much? Like, I don't know. I go on such long tangents too.
But that's like the point. Honestly, the best episodes. Okay, Heather had one of the best episodes. If any of y'all haven't listened, go back and listen to the Heather episode. Her episode was so good, and her tangents and her stories were amazing.
Oh, Heather has such good
She's
stories.
such good stories.
Heather's just such a vibe.
I want to be. I
love Heather.
Heather just follows the magic of the universe, and I want to be more like that. More just be like,
Yeah.
Because for me, I feel like I live in the masculine so much, and I realized this. I was listening to a podcast the other day. I feel like I've been in the masculine so much where it's like I have a plan about something and I like go out and make it happen, as opposed to just like trust it's gonna happen and just like chill the fuck out.
I think that's another thing. I didn't really touch upon that. Be a doer. Do it straight away. Don't feel like you have to rush everything. Like when I first moved to LA, I was like, oh my God, am I doing enough? Am I famous yet? And it was like week 1.
Like, no.
And even Caesar, after like a few months of us being together, he was like, you always feel like you're like trying to rush your life. Like, slow down a bit. You just got here. You're not like, you're doing great.
Yeah.
You know? Like, chill.
Just chill out.
That's what we talk about. You need to let yourself chill.
Yeah.
Because if you burn yourself at both ends, you'll turn into ash.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what happens
I think so.
when you burn at both ends. Unless you're a candle, then you just turn into like a pile of wax.
My mom told me that I'm burning the candle at 5 different ends.
I didn't even know you could have 5 ends.
I didn't know either.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I guess you could.
I guess so. It's literally like every limb and then your head.
And then your head.
Yeah, basically. But it's kind of been that for the last couple months, I'd say.
Did you meet Heather's boyfriend?
Yes, I did.
He's awesome.
I love
He's
him.
really cool.
Fiance.
The way that... did I just say boyfriend?
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, I met fiance. When I met him, I thought he was Australian.
Really? And he's British?
Yeah. But then story of how they met.
I know, it's crazy.
It's so
so
cool.
crazy.
It's so Heather.
It's so Heather.
I knew she'd meet someone like that. Heather is
Yeah.
not the sort of person that's going to meet someone on like Tinder.
No, she's not. I was.
I was. Okay, we're getting now. Good night and goodbye.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Visualize Meditations podcast. Please follow, subscribe, leave a review, all of the good things. If you want to connect more, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Living Your Vision. So what are you waiting for? Get out there, create the life of your dreams, and we will see you next week.